Let's see what happens. And you know what? Talking about the other team that they're going to make sure that we have a little bit of this April in the D. We're going to have the Detroit Pistons, man, making the playoffs, not the play-in, but they're entering the postseason, and they're going to be a top 6 playoff team. You're just looking at how the standings are shaking out, and they've moved up to 5th seed after they got a little help from some West Coast flavor. They sit just a half game ahead of the Bucks, and they're going to have 2 important games down the stretch against the Bucks that will go towards determining tiebreakers. But the Pacers, they sit a game and a half ahead of the Detroit Pistons for that number 4 seed. It would be epic to see the Detroit Pistons be able to climb those charts and, like you said earlier in the show, Flannel Sam, be able to host a playoff game, a playoff series in the city. Yeah. But to know that there's at least 2 guaranteed games in Detroit for these playoffs, that is such an epic accomplishment after this team had 14 wins last season. And to hear JB Bickerstaff really speak on it, he said, you know what, there was already talent here. And remember, that was the question that I was trying to figure out. How do we get this specific answer out of him without, setting him up to throw somebody deliberately under the bus? And, it's awesome to him to know that he had seen some of what this team could be from afar when he was building up what we see the Cleveland Cavaliers to be as a powerhouse right now. But his vision and his effectively ability to put this team in a position to succeed has absolutely, along with these players working hard, because I never want to take that away from them, it's put them in a great position right now.
Yeah, great position to be where they're at in the standings, in which they actually sit ahead of Milwaukee right now. Yep. You love to see that. And just scouring the schedules for both teams, I think the Pistons have a tougher one moving forward than Milwaukee does for sure, but Milwaukee's also going to be without Dame Lillard. They've got a game against Atlanta at home. I think that's an on-paper win. Home versus Phoenix, I think that's an on-paper win. At Philly, at Miami, at New Orleans. Those ones, if you're the Milwaukee Bucks, you probably feel like you should win those. Home versus Minnesota, home versus New Orleans, and then the home and home against the Pistons. I think they've got it easier going forward than the Pistons, but you just never know. I mean, this is where we have to rely on a team like, let's just say, Phoenix. Phoenix is fighting for their playoff lives. It would be an absolute disaster of epic proportions if a Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, and Kevin Durant team didn't make the play-in. You know how you can avoid that? Go beat the Bucks. The Miami Heat, they're trying to get to the play-in as well. Trying to, seeing how things are gelling with guys like Tyler Hero and Andrew Wiggins. Maybe they can get one. Maybe Zion can pop off against them for a game and go for 40 and 20. You just never know. But as of right now, I think the Pistons, not saying it's the death nail or anything, but I think they have the toughest road ahead of any of those 3 teams.
They do have the toughest road ahead, but just looking at their schedule and seeing that really a third of the schedule left are teams that they could potentially be playing in the postseason is where I am actually ecstatic for this outlook, and I want this team to be able to well up all the confidence that they have and just go to work. The one thing I know is this: they aren't scared of the Knicks at all. Whether they should be or shouldn't, whether they should or shouldn't be, they are not scared. Do they respect that opponent? Yes, but they went into Madison Square and they beat them twice using their recipe. They beat the Knicks the way that the Knicks used to come in and beat us, whether it was preseason, summer league, or regular season. And that, to me, is what gives me a lot of confidence in the Pistons as we come down the stretch. And you're right, the end of this thing is not an easy one. You got the Cavs, one of the toughest teams in all the league, this Friday at home. And I know Detroit is going to be electric. Then you travel out to Minnesota, which I got to say, you got to go out there and win that one. You got to go out there and win that one.
If you want the 4 seed, you got to win that one.
You got the Pistons and Thunder on ESPN and their new tagline, Playoff Push, with our guy Cade Cunningham being featured. Shout out to them. And then the Raptors. That has to be a dub, especially seeing all the other games sandwiched here, because then you end on a heater. You got the Grizzlies, the Kings, who they're 35 and 37. The Knicks, 45 wins, and then the Bucks in back-to-back games.
Yeah.
It's going to be an interesting start. And against the Cavs, the matchup predictor favoring the Cavs 65% in this game to 35 for the Pistons.
I mean, Cleveland, they're number 1 seed in the East for a reason. They're a damn good team, but
Pistons played them tough.
Absolutely. And LCA is, I think, as the team continues to get better, and I certainly think it will play like that on Friday, it's going to be a heck of a home court advantage. It's probably going to be a sellout. Fans are going to be rowdy as they should. And this is a game where I'm not saying that it would be a statement game to win. I'll just say that. Would it be the worst thing in the world if they lose? Not necessarily, but you'd really like for the Pistons to get this one. Get a big win over the best team in the East, quite frankly, at least in terms of record-wise. I don't think they are better than the Celtics, but still. Cleveland's earned that right to be confident and be that one seed.
And it helps the Pistons as they come down the stretch, like I said, test their mettle a little bit. And I'm hoping that, the young guys, they are able to press their legs and change a little bit of this narrative in terms of the quality of teams that they get their wins against. They're going to definitely get their opportunity right now to change a large portion of that narrative. But just looking at this thing, you got 9 games left. You have 41 wins. Let's just do this. Let's do another check, man. Where you see him landing wins-wise by the end of the season?
46. I'm going to go 46. Looking at their schedule, home game against Sacramento, home game against the Knicks, at Toronto, at Minnesota. I think they're going to win one versus Milwaukee. Memphis, I think, is winnable too, even though Memphis is damn good. I'm going to say they finish the season 5-4.
I have the same finish in terms of record. I actually think they're going to take both of those Milwaukee games. Wow. I do.
Then they're the 4 seed.
I do.
Or unless it's the Pacers, obviously. But then they finish ahead of the Bucks. Then
do. I believe that one of the games is going to be a Cade statement game, and the other one is going to be the one where we've seen a couple games now without Cade. This team has stepped up, and I think that is huge. I believe that if anyone's not really looking at how this team has played the last 2 games, you're going to be underselling the Detroit Pistons. And so I do believe one of those other victories is going to be because the team absolutely picks one up. What up, though, KG?
Yeah, I will see that 46 and raise you one more, 47. Right. I think they finished 6-3 down the stretch, and I'm looking forward to some good basketball, man.
Hey, JB Smooth, before we go over to Cavassier.
I mean, my ringside partner, me and him were lockstep once again. That's
yes,
the
sir.
same number I had as well, too. So, and I agree with Flannel. I see them taking, or actually you, Kool-Aid. We're taking those Bucks games. I don't care.
Hey,
I'm sorry, Giannis.
I hope you guys are right. I really do. That would be, like I said, if you do that, you finish ahead of the Bucks.
Man, we might have to set up some watch parties as we come down the stretch. I know for the playoff games, we definitely will have those.
Oh, yeah.
What up, though, Cavassier, Chase? 9 games left, 41 wins for the Pistons. They got a tough schedule, but some winnable games, and they've played some teams tough. How you see them finishing? How many wins on the season?
Wait, so that 41 right now with 9 games left. So they go 6-3. I say 47. I think that's the math.
Let's rock.
Yeah. I think 47 gets them the 4 seed.
Okay.
That would be amazing.
But I also don't think they get 47. But I hope you guys are right.
Let's rock. Let's rock, man. Hey, JB Smooth, who do you want us to say what up, though, to?
We have to say what up to Les Stanford and Grand Slam.
Hey, absolutely. Les Stanford Chevrolet. Actually, Buick at GMC has great offers for everyone. Get it.